May we come in?
What do you want?
To speak with Mrs. Foote
What for?
regarding her accident.
Oh, just a minute.
What do they want?
What do you want?
She filed a report. We're here to investigate.
Your police?
You might say that.
Just a minute. All right, come on in. This isn't going to take long, is it? She tires easily.
Only as long as necessary. You must be Mrs. Foote. Our sympathies.
And who are you?
This is Agent Blue. I'm Agent Black. We have a few questions.
And what does the government want with her?
You must be Miss Lip, the caretaker.
I'm a personal assistant, and I prefer Ms. Lip.
Of course. Most women without men do.
Excuse me.
Dulcie, please.
You live at 410 Westchester Avenue, apartment 7. Never married, 1 cat. You drive a 10-year-old Buick. Offer personal assistance to 5 clients. Wanted to be a singer at one time, but your mother discouraged you from that profession. Ran away. Took up with a construction worker. It didn't work out. Found yourself pregnant and alone. Too prim to get yourself fixed. You braved on through, but miscarried in the 2nd trimester anyway. No other attachment, and nope, all these years, you've been working low-skill, low-paid jobs ever since. Is that correct, Ms. Lip?
What the hell is this?
Just tell me if I'm wrong.
What do you want? How do you know all this?
Consider us Homeland Security. We like to know who we talk to.
I fail to see where this is any business of yours.
It isn't. As I said, we're here to speak with Mrs. Foote.
It's all right, Dulcie. They don't want to bother you.
Well, they have.
Ah, yes. And your mother was a fan of Don Quixote.
My name is Dulcinea.
My apologies if I was being intrusive. As I said, we like to know to whom we are addressing.
Like to know.
Yes. Now, Mrs. Foote.
You don't have to tell me about myself. I already know.
Yes. You do, don't you? No.
What is it you want to know?
Suppose you tell me
Such as?
how you got that way.
You haven't read the report?
We prefer to hear it from you.
Is this going to take long? Should I put on coffee? You're not going to tire her out, are you?
It's all right, Dulcie. What can I say? There were several dozen of us. It was foggy. Some walked away, and some didn't.
You were not driving.
No, my husband was.
Really, Trudy, this is going to be fatiguing, and you shouldn't have to go over this again. Please, sir, is this really necessary?
It's all right, Dulcie. They'll only want to come back again.
She's right. Back. Mind if we sit down?
Yes.
But we will anyway. We'll accept this hospitality, but not the coffee.
I haven't offered you any.
And very good of you. Too much coffee is bad for the digestion.
Bad.
Tell me, have you noticed anything, shall we say, different since your accident?
I need help going to the toilet, if that's what you mean.
Yes, again, sympathies. But I mean something else, don't I?
And what do you want to know?
We have all kinds of interests. We care a great deal about our citizens.
Care.
Mrs. Foote, your government cares deeply about what happened to you and wants to do everything it can to help. We just need some information first.
What kind of information?
About you, about how you see things, feel things. We offer you our compassion and our support. Mrs. Foote, your government has a tender heart.
Heart.
Will this help fix my HMO?
There! Perfect example. Having some difficulties, are we? Consider it done. Only
what?
tell me, anything unusual about the accident? Before? During? And after?
And then?
Anyway, we can help. It's yours.
There's nothing unusual other than the fact that I'm in this chair.
Oh, come, Mrs. Foote. That's really not true, is it?
Not true.
Let me think about it.
Ah! So we've made progress then. If something jogs your memory, you may wish to give us a call. You can be reached at this number. Thanks for the time and the hospitality. Mrs. Foote. Dulcinea.
I don't like them.
You don't like anybody.
What are they hinting at?
Whatever they're hinting at.
What is it they want to know from you?
Secrets. Whatever secrets I'm hiding.
You didn't get much out of her, Agent Black.
Rome wasn't built in a day, Agent Blue.
It's all a lot of nonsense. I don't think you should talk to them again. As a matter of fact, I'd see a lawyer first. I'm not sure your rights haven't been violated.
Dulcie, I need my medication.
Yes, dear, you poor thing. Most women without men do. Of all the nerve.
It's the offer of a lifetime.
It's Crunchalicious.
The perfect way to end your day.
A taste that comes on bold.
Every day, in every way. You're getting better and better.
It's what it takes for that feel-good feeling inside.
That's our mark, Agent Blue.
Indeed, Agent Black.
Excuse me. Holiday Handy.
Yes?
You are Miss Handy, are you not? Residing here?
Who wants to know?
We'd like to ask you a few questions if it wouldn't be too much trouble. We work for the federal government. I'm Agent Black. This is Agent Blue.
You're kidding, right? What kind of questions?
You were in an accident some weeks ago.
Yeah, so?
This pertains to that.
Come on in, I got a few minutes.
We appreciate this. We promise to be no trouble.
Can I get you anything? Coffee, juice, bottle of water?
We're fine.
You don't mind if I do.
Not at all.
Have a seat. I gotta put something else on my feet. I did double shift today.
Must be tough.
Well, we had somebody quit, so we're all taking turns filling in. We're working a split shift, so I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Oh, I'm sorry. I work in a restaurant.
We know.
Do you? So, what kind of questions do you have? What do a pair of feds want with me?
We would like to ask you about that day.
What for? I thought everything was taken care of.
Regarding the accident report and the insurance and all that, that's all been handled. The local authorities have that all in good shape.
Shape.
We are looking for something else.
Else.
Like what?
Like after the accident.
What?
Have you noticed anything since that time? Something that has made your life different, in a way.
Different.
In what way?
Experiences you would perhaps describe as other than, well, frankly, not normal.
Not normal.
In what way? And what does all this have to do with the federal government?
Let's just say Uncle Sam is looking out for his own.
Oh my God, you don't think I've been exposed to something?
Please, Miss Handy, help us help you. Try and remember anything you can about that day.
Well, let's see. I know I was feeling really low because I just put my cat to sleep.
Ah, There we are. Stick with your feelings. Tell us what you remember.
It was night. It was foggy. I missed my turnoff. And there were all these red taillights and all this screeching and crashing. I just sat there for the longest time until somebody said, "Get out!" And then all this fire and some of those poor, poor people.
Indeed. And you're recovering.
Mild whiplash. I hit somebody, somebody hit me. I got over it. I filed the insurance forms. Didn't they get it?
The insurance is fine.
Fine.
And how do you feel now?
Fine, I guess. I was at the back of the pack. You really should be talking to somebody closer in.
We are. Nothing else you'd care to mention?
Mention.
Not really. Why? What should I be saying?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Was one of those trucks carrying some sort of dangerous chemicals or something?
That's all, Miss Handy. Thank you for your time.
Your time.
Sorry to have disturbed you.
Disturbed you.
You won't tell me if there's something I've inhaled or something.
If you happen to think of anything, give us a call.
Call.
Nothing I can think of, except those dreams.
Tell me about the dreams.
There's nothing to tell, really. I can't remember them, but they keep waking me up. Is that something?
Would you mind if we called on you again?
Hey, kid.
Are you Johnny Pate, 1510 Riverside Drive?
Who wants to know?
We're your Uncle Sam. I'm your cousin Black. This is your cousin Blue.
We want to talk to you.
What about?
Step into my office. Have a seat. This will only take a minute.
Shoot.
Funny line. Funny kid. Don't you think he's a funny kid?
Cracks me up.
Listen, Johnny. May I call you Johnny?
Why not?
'Cause I don't want to call you Gertrude. Hey, I'm a funny guy too, aren't I?
Cracks me up.
What do you guys want?
Just to have a nice chat. We're cousins, aren't we?
You're not my cousin.
Oh, but I am. We are all cousins, we citizens. All united under the same flag.
Chokes me up.
Cousins help each other out, don't they?
Bend over backwards.
That's right. One big happy family.
Is this going somewhere? I got a cello lesson at 5.
Musically inclined. Hear that, Agent Blue?
I do indeed, Agent Black.
We may have a virtuoso in our midst.
I don't have time for this.
No. Stay. I promise this won't take long. We just have a few questions for you. Just for our records, you understand?
Keep us informed.
I believe we have some soft drinks in the car. Would you like one?
The bold, refreshing taste.
The one that satisfies best. Or some gum, maybe. I've got the good stuff.
4 out of 5 dentists recommended for their patients who chew gum.
No thanks. Your point?
Ah, to business then. Listen, we are deeply, deeply sorry for your loss. It was a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Broke me up.
Yeah.
If there's anything we can do to ease your suffering, let us know.
You can tell me what you want.
All right, then. It has come to our attention that things have been different for you since the accident. Not just because your living arrangements have been drastically altered, oh no, but because something is going on up there in the old noodle.
Meaning?
You actually see things differently than you used to. You understand things in a different way than you did just a few months ago.
How do you know this?
As I said, we're cousins. It's all in the family.
All in the blood.
Why can't you tell me something I can believe?
You don't believe that I'm telling you the truth? Oh, Johnny, that hurts me very deeply.
Breaks me up.
Why would I want to tell you anything false? After all, we're friends.
We're not friends. I've never met you before. You're some weird old guy who's talking to me in his car.
And what are you doing in my car? Didn't your mother ever tell you not to get into cars with strangers?
I know you're not going to hurt me.
So you know this. Ah. And how do you know this?
I just do is all.
Really? He just knows this, it seems, Agent Blue. Doesn't that strike you as a revelation?
Very revelatory, Agent Black.
Revelatory. Is that a word?
It is now, Agent Black.
Yes. I find that revelatory myself, Johnny. Don't you?
What do you want?
You've been talking.
About what? To whom?
About things you shouldn't be talking about. About things you're not supposed to know about.
And how do you know about them?
We know things too, don't we, Agent Blue?
A great many things, Agent Black.
And we know when somebody starts opening up their trap and spilling information of which they know nothing about, or are supposed to know nothing. The question is, how does someone like this know these things?
Who have you been talking to?
Who have you? Let you in on a little secret. We can even hear people in their sleep. And you've been talking in your sleep, haven't you?
You're here because I've been talking in my sleep.
And to a few friends and relatives. Not much, just bits of information. Bits you don't know what to do with, yet. We're here to see that you don't.
It's getting late.
Ah, we shan't keep you from your lesson. We'll drive you home. We'll drive you there.
I prefer to walk.
It's no trouble, we know where you live. We'll talk again soon. You know we will, don't you? Keep on keeping on, homie. Word up. That's a thing kids say, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know.
We'll catch you on the rad side, Johnny, my man.
This is a waste of time, Agent Black.
We don't know that.
Yes, we do.
Not officially. For the record, we have to check out each individual case. You know the rules. Leave no stone unturned, let no doubt enter the picture.
I want to be just like you, sir.
Of course you do.
Yes?
We're with the government. Are you humble?
Oh, shit, I paid my taxes this time.
You are Humble Gardens, 3617 Belmont Square.
I did my time for non-support.
You misunderstand. We aren't with the state.
Los Federales, amigo.
ATF? I've been out of the gun trade for 2 years.
Mr. Gardens, we've come about the accident.
What accident?
Last month,
Highway 57.
My car didn't start that fire. Everything was out of the trunk by then. I was way in the back.
yes, and it was perfectly fine. It helped no one.
I was shaken out.
You were getting rid of what you had in the seat cushion. not very adept. That's the first place anyone would look.
Do you know about that?
We came to ask you about your life.
My life? Why?
We want to know how your life has been. So, how's life been?
How's kicks?
Fine. Wait a minute. You came all the way from Washington to ask me about my life? My life after the accident? What does the government care?
Your government cares deeply about you. Now that you are paying taxes.
Compassionate conservatism.
That's very thoughtful of you, them, it.
So please, feel free to unburden yourself on us. We'd love to be of help.
Help how?
You never know what we can do for you. The government has a long reach and a mighty arm.
Big biceps.
Can you fix a parking ticket?
Anything legal, we have influence.
How about 6 or 10?
If we offer you something, you must offer something to us. As they say, scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
Loofah pad.
What do you want to know? I ain't no squealer.
Trust me, Mr. Gardens. Humble. May I call you humble? The people you might squeal on, as you so eloquently put it, Uncle Sam has no interest in. We would simply like to know what you might know. That is all.
Which would be what?
Let's discover it together, shall we?
Okay, I'll play along.
Now, Mr. Gardens, do you or have you had any vivid memories, dreams, or visions since the accident?
Visions? You mean like daydreams and crap?
Anything with a strong sense of certainty about it, particularly regarding the future.
The future? What is this about? You got on a plane and flew all the way down here to ask me if I have visions?
Incredible, isn't it?
How dumb do I look to you?
Very.
Let's not quibble about appearances. Just answer the question.
And what will you do for me if I give you the answers you're looking for?
You'll stay alive.
Don't mind him. He's just jerking your chain, I believe is the phrase.
I'm a kidder.
We call him the Rodney Dangerfield of security back at the office.
I've got 1,000,000 of them.
So tell us, have you?
No. Is that bad?
No. And no, you don't. And do you know why you don't? Because you are a worthless human being. Aren't you, Mr. Gardens? Humble. You don't have many redeeming qualities.
That's not true.
I'm wrong.
I have redeeming qualities.
Name one.
I have a really big penis.
Ah,
The ladies all like it. I've seen my share of them.
and they you.
I'm good at music. I play guitar in a band.
The festering wounds?
You heard of us?
No.
I like it funky.
The ladies all heard of me. I know how to please them.
I like it funky.
Only,
Huh?
I have eczema.
Aw,
You know what it's like having a big penis and eczema?
stultifying.
Phallic folly.
I can't stand to be touched. I'm constantly covered in goop. I have to wear long pants and long sleeves all the time. Even bed sheets are irritating.
Debilitating.
Emasculating.
Excruciating.
Incriminating.
Reactionary.
Masturbationary.
Wouldn't want to be you at all.
Better off dead.
We'd almost be willing to help.
Oh, Paul.
What do you think, Agent Blue? Is he worth saving?
Wait a minute. I've heard about this kind of stuff, but...
But what? Wouldn't you like to meet Marilyn Monroe? You and that big scabby penis of yours?
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Actually, I've never approved of that particular onomatope. Cock-a-doodle-doo sounds nothing like a rooster, which is the whole point of onomatopoeia in the first place. A rooster actually sounds more like er.
But how would you spell that?
E-R, 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 E-R.
I haven't harmed nobody.
Now I'm the one jerking your chain.
Jerk.
What kind of government agents are you?
The correct ones. We only respond to correct answers. Like the one you just gave us. We'll be going now.
Wait a minute. You came all the way down here from Washington to ask me about my visions, knowing I don't know anything?
Thank you for your time.
I'm going to write my congressman about this.
You haven't a clue who your congressman is, do you, Mr. Gardens? As a matter of fact, I don't think you know a lot of things. I don't believe he votes, Agent Blue.
Never tried.
It strikes me you are not a patriot.
What do you want from me?
Nothing. You are a worthless worm. You are not worth my spittle.
Sputum.
You and your ridiculous reproductive organ.
Preposterous penis.
You're pathetic.
Gelatinous.
What?
Gelatinous. It's my favorite word.
You can't just go around inserting random adjectives willy-nilly. It doesn't make any sense.
Hey, I'm bigger than both of you.
No, you're not. Perhaps gelatinous is appropriate after all, Agent Blue.
It always is, Agent Black.
There's something going on here. The other day I was accosted. Well, I met these two government officials. They kept asking me about the accident and about my dreams. I didn't know what to make of it. I mean, why would they want to know that? No, they didn't. Nothing like that. No, they didn't carry any papers or anything. They said they were Homeland Security. Yeah, it kind of freaked me out, too. I mean, I sat on this thing for 2 days. I didn't know who I should talk to.
Don't let anything upset you for now. Well, I'm not sure what good I'll be able to do. Did you get to know any of those other people from the accident? Okay, listen, if I were you, I'd ask around and see if anybody else has been visited by these agents. Hello? Hello?
Look, tell them no deal. No. Just get what you can from them and we'll write off the rest. Ah, hell with it. Let it go. Listen, I gotta go. I believe I got some people out there. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, bye. Moron. Hey, Janine! Janine!
Janine can't hear. Janine has gone to lunch.
Who are you?
We're with the Bureau, paying you a friendly call.
What do you want?
You are Lucius Loophole, investments and bail bonds, are you not?
Says so on the door.
That's an unusual combination, isn't it? Getting people out of jail and stashing cash. I don't think I've heard of that before. Have you, Agent Blue?
Memory fails, Agent Black.
It's legal. My paperwork is in order. You can check it.
I'll bet it is. Like a high colonic rectum.
Clean as a whistle.
What do you want?
There was a big accident a few weeks back on Highway 57. You've heard of it?
All the papers.
A number of vehicles, people killed, foggy night. Bad.
News Chopper 12 is here at the scene, bringing you all the latest pictures.
Yeah, so?
Rumor has it you started it.
That was never proven. It's just something they made up.
Clumsy effort on their part. They should know better.
Nefarious nincompoops.
But you know how people talk.
Subterranean subterfuge.
But you were there.
Before it all started. What's this all got to do with the government?
But you came back, though, didn't you?
What?
There was a girl there who saw you. A waitress.
Who? How does she know?
She doesn't. Or rather, she can't remember.
Well, then how does she know?
You're just a blur to her. She couldn't identify you if she tried.
Then how did she tell you about me?
She didn't.
Then what are we talking about?
But you came back, didn't you?
If she hasn't said anything about this...
She doesn't have to. We know.
How?
Only a few people got out of that inferno. There was a kid who lost his family, watched them burn to death. Tell me, Mr. Lupo, can you see the future?
What?
Do you have visions of what the world is going to look like 5, 10, 20 years from now?
What kind of a question is that?
I thought not.
Listen, what does all this have to do with me? What do you want?
You were there, Mr. Lupo. It was you who started it. You with your drifting attention and double-scotch solution to keeping your demons down.
That cannot be proven.
No blood test. Shame.
I demand to know what this is all about.
It's all about how to save your scrawny neck, isn't it? You are a member of the Carnivorous Claws gun group, are you not?
I'm their treasurer.
A man with figures in his head. You believe in the safety and sanctity of firepower.
I'm not some gun nut, if that's what you're implying. I believe in the right to bear arms.
In your line of business, that makes sense, doesn't it? A true patriot, Agent Blue. It's people like him in public service we are paid to protect.
Protect and serve.
Still, would be an uncomfortable mess if it got out that a man who deals with so much money of other people were caught drinking and driving, and the source of an accident on top of it.
News Chopper 12 is here at the scene, bringing you all the latest pictures.
Are you accusing me of something? Because you know I have the right to an attorney.
He has rights, Agent Blue. See how deftly he draws on them when he needs to?
Like a six-shooter, Agent Black.
Listen, you haven't answered any of my questions, and I'm not going to answer any more of yours.
You needn't. We won't be asking any. We'll go our way, you'll go yours. You won't imagine that you almost hit a trailer truck in the fog. You won't remember watching it jackknife in your mirror. You won't dream of the ball of fire that appeared off in the distance behind you. You'll have no recollection of the faces of the victims as you guiltily circled around to watch the destruction you caused while the ambulances pulled up. You won't reflect on the drops every time it rains, thinking back to the water dripping down on the singed and twisted metal that put an end to a dozen lives. You have a clear conscience, and we'll go about our own business, not talking to the people of that night.
How did you know that? What business is it of yours? Listen, I don't believe you're from the government at all. I want to see those IDs. Just who the hell are you?
We're the people you find at the bottom of that bottle of scotch you keep in your drawer. We're your demons, Mr. Lupo, made flesh. Goodbye, Mr. Lupo. We have no further need of you.
Nor will anyone else.
Thanks for seeing me, Mrs. Foote.
Thanks for the hospital visit. And you can call me Trudy. Now, what was this all about?
Well, it's just as I told you on the phone. I don't know what to make of all this.
I told you those two were up to no good.
Dulcie, please. I'd like to spend some time with my young friend here.
Oh, well, in that case, is there anything else I can get you? Bakery or anything?
We're fine, Dulcie. Thank you.
Very well. If you need me, I'll just be in the kitchen, reading the newspaper, minding my own business. Think nothing of interrupting me if you need anything.
We will, Dulcie. Thank you. So why do you think they want to talk to you?
That's what the doctor asked. I don't know.
Tell me about this doctor you confide in.
Oh, he's just an old friend of the family. Retired. He doesn't practice anymore.
And what did he tell you to do?
Well, we started to get into it, and he was suddenly interrupted. He was going to call me back, but he hasn't yet. Well, that's when I thought of you.
Cookies! I knew I forgot something. Perhaps a cookie with your tea.
We're fine, Dulcie. Thank you.
But we wouldn't want to seem impoverished, would we? Would you like a cookie, miss?
Not right now, thank you. Maybe later.
I'll leave them on the table right here. If you decide you want anything, just let me know.
We will. Thank you, Dulcie.
My pleasure. I'll just be out in the kitchen. Holler if you need me.
We will. Now, how much do you remember from that night?
Oh, it depends. Some things are clear, some are fuzzy.
And they asked you about your dreams?
Isn't that a strange request for government agents?
And what have you been telling people?
About the accident?
About afterwards.
You mean, do I have visions?
Have you been getting strange impressions?
Well, I've been hearing voices. Only I can't make them out.
Voices? What kind of voices?
I don't even know how to describe it. A lot of voices, all trying to tell me things, but all at once, so I can't make it out.
And dreams?
It's like a picture without the sound of it. Faces. I don't know whose. No voices.
And have you told anyone this?
Not really. I mean, all my friends and family, they just say I had a good conk on the head. Even I haven't taken this seriously. Why would anybody want to know about this?
I'm not sure. Thanks, Dulcie. You can go about cleaning some other time. Besides, that's Cynthia's job anyway.
I was just trying to help her out. I didn't mean to disturb you. You go right ahead. You're not disturbing me.
But I'd like a moment of privacy, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just go back and read the paper then.
Yes, you do that.
How is it for you now? Getting around, I mean.
Hell, I'll never get used to this.
You didn't have any trouble before the accident?
No. I was perfectly fine.
Well, what did the doctor say about your recovery?
Ha! Doctors.
Yeah, but you will be able to walk again, right?
No. The doctors say other things, but I know I won't.
Maybe something will change. They discover something new every day.
I don't think so.
Medication?
I'm still in pain, if that's what you mean. I'm not on as much as I used to, but I still take things that make me goofy. Now, don't dismiss these voices.
Why?
There's a reason for everything. And don't let that doctor convince you that it's just some wiring that's shorted out in your brain. These guys want to know something, and the reason must be real, not imaginary.
So you think they'll come back?
Oh, I know they will. Just tell them what they want to hear, but no more.
But what is that?
You'll know. Trust me on this. They may be creeps, but they won't harm you. And let me know when they contact you again.
All right. So they asked you all the same questions then?
More or less.
And do you hear voices? I mean, the kind they want to know about?
I know other things.
Like what?
Drink your tea, my dear. Let's have a cookie.
What does that mean?
Well, that means I don't know what to think. Now, this lady you visited, the paraplegic, she's being visited by these men too, and they've been asking her about her visions.
More or less. Well, they apparently didn't ask her exactly the same things, but...
And the government has license to do this now? To just walk into people's homes and say, tell me about your dreams?
Mrs. Foote thinks they'll show up again.
Oh, well, actually, I suspect she's right. So, what do you remember about the accident?
Crashing, noise, fire, sirens, lights. What else is there to an accident?
I mean about your own reactions.
I was shaken up. I learned more about it from TV than from when I was there.
So they're distinctly asking what you've been dreaming about since the accident?
They acted like they knew everything about the accident, and about me. Mrs. Foote, too. Even her caretaker. The only thing they wanted to talk about was my dreams. They don't seem to have that on their files.
Sigmund Freud meets Homeland Security. This is straight out of George Orwell. Yeah. Well, so let's start there. What are you dreaming?
Nothing. I wake up in a sweat sometimes, in the middle of the night. It takes a while to get back to sleep again. But I don't remember a thing. Not anymore. Sometimes in the middle of the day, I hear this screaming, but it's gone right away. And right after it happened, I kept seeing these faces as if calling to me. But not now.
First of all, everything you're describing is a perfectly normal reaction. Now, if any of this changes, or if you feel the need to just talk it out, give me a call. I mean, the weird thing is, these government agents asking everybody about this. Was there anything there at the accident? A truck? A suspicious-looking car? Maybe somebody with information you could have accidentally had contact with?
If there was, I sure wouldn't know. There goes that noise again.
How many were there?
Lots.
I mean, how many victims? How many survivors? See, I'm wondering if they're asking everybody about it or just the survivors. Could you put together a list for me of everybody who came out of that mess? I think it's time to do some sleuthing.
Approximately Hughes?
Nah?
You are approximately Hughes, are you not? Known to some as Chicklet?
Only my mom calls me that. Who are you?
We're from Washington, that marble place in the east.
Feds? What do you want with me?
We are here to discuss the little skirmish you had on Highway 57.
Why?
We have curious minds.
And a willingness to learn.
What can I do for you?
You can let us ask the questions, Chicklet. How pleasant to be named after gum.
Mom said I was chewable.
Touching, partner. A mama's boy.
Makes me gooey, partner.
I am not a mama's boy. What do you want?
You've been seeing things. Approximately... Chicklet.
Don't call me that. What do you know about such things?
We're in the business of knowing things. Approximately.
Chick. Lit.
Well, I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Could we have been mistaken, Agent Blue?
Not likely, Agent Black.
Then we have the right personage, colleague.
Correct, colleague.
Then perhaps someone is telling us a fib. Is that the case?
A big, fat one.
I don't know anything.
These visions, do they frighten you, Mr. Hughes? Come on. You can tell me. I'm here to be friends. Him? I just drag him along for convenience. He doesn't need to know.
Doesn't need to know.
I don't know who you are. Why do you want to know all this?
Scientific curiosity. We're conducting a survey on everyone who has seen dinosaurs in the last month.
Who said anything about dinosaurs?
I believe you did.
You did.
No, I didn't.
All right then, I did. But you wanted to, so let's pretend you did. You have seen something within the last month since the accident. Something you've never seen before.
Yes, but nobody's supposed to know about it.
Nobody does.
You do.
I'm nobody. He's nobody.
Agent Nobody.
So tell us, be a sport. What did you see?
You'll think I'm crazy.
We can allay your fears right there. We already think you're crazy.
Nuts as Planter's variety pack.
What with the fact that your college degree is completely useless? You work minimum wage in a bookstore. You're one sorry, dateless dude. I hear tell he's a virgin.
I am not! Not entirely.
And you are plagued by a chronic anal itch.
How did you know about that? That's not true.
Believe me, Chicklet, my opinion of you couldn't get much worse. So spill the beans.
Spill 'em.
What did you see?
I don't know what it is to you, but I have seen them.
Them? What them?
Dinosaurs, okay? At night. I was lying in bed, and I heard something outside in the yard, so I went up to look out the window. I live on the second floor, you know.
We know.
And there it was, munching on the box elders.
It. I always like it when it shows up in a story.
A Styracosaurus. It's a huge rhino-like beast, completely covered in horns.
Impressive.
Yeah, well, they've been dead for millions of years. And there it was, in my backyard, in the middle of the night.
Sure you got a good look at it?
Oh, yes. Yes, the moon was full.
And then what?
Well, then it just kind of pushed its way out of the yard. Disappeared.
An animal that big?
Yes. I only saw it for a few seconds. Just long enough to see what it was.
Are you sure it was a Styracosaurus?
Oh, yes. Yes. I've read up on them. Well, all dinosaurs are, really.
And then what did you do?
Well, I wanted to tell my housemate.
Mom.
Yeah. Only she was sleeping. And she can be real cranky if she doesn't get her full 11 hours. So instead, I decided to go downstairs and out into the backyard. There was nothing there. I mean, the box elders were torn to pieces and the fence was smashed to hell, but No dinosaur.
And then?
Well, the next morning I went back out into the yard. Only there was absolutely nothing. I mean, the hedges, the fence, everything was just as it always been.
Have you ever seen anything else?
Yeah. I've come across a flock of these, well, I guess you'd call them a flock, of Strathiomymus. They're these big ostrich-like creatures. They were just running along the freeway. And then another time I came home from work to see a pterodactyl perched on the satellite dish. There've been others, too.
But no physical evidence.
No.
And do you know why? Because it's all in your head. This mess of gray matter up here that you use as an occasional cheese dip invented the whole thing. It's too much trauma from the accident. If I were you, I would never tell anyone.
But I haven't.
You told us. What does that make you?
Gullible sap.
See how easy it is to turn blabbermouth?
But you wanted me to.
Chicklet, chicklet, chicklet. Don't you know in this country we have free will? You could have refused at any time.
I did.
That's because you knew secretly we are here to help you.
I did?
Of course. And we know from our investigation that some of the crash victims, such as yourself, have been suffering from this trauma and needed to talk it out. Those dinosaurs aren't real. They never were. Neither are the next bunch you'll see. And if you go around telling people, they'll lock you up.
Rubber room.
With only a diet of gruel for months. But we've come to like you. We want to protect you. So forget about these things. Never mention them to anyone.
Trap shut.
Hang up on anyone from the crash who calls you. You're only aggravating the problem. Yours and theirs. And before you know it, those dinosaurs will disappear, never to be seen again.
Mom's the word.
Good boy. And just to make sure that you're okay, we'll do a follow-up visit. Just to see that you're behaving yourself.
Keep an eye out for you.
What does any of this have to do with the government?
Let us worry about that, chicklet. Sometimes this job is too easy.
I'm tempted to say gelatinous, Agent Black.
Iced tea. Would anyone like iced tea? You know it's getting to be that time of year. I'll make us some iced tea.
Are you in a lot of pain?
At times.
Well, I mean here. And here.
Well, what do you think?
Angry?
About?
Well, it sounded angry. I know I'd be angry if I found out I couldn't walk anymore.
All right. So maybe I am.
Who are you angry at?
Whatever jackass caused that truck to jackknife.
Okay.
I thought you came here to talk to me about those men.
Well, I did. I want to find out why they selected you as their subject. Now, that has to do with you.
No, you're not playing your head-shrinking games on me.
Is that what you think this is? A head-shrinking game?
No. Maybe it's the pills making me irritable.
I don't think it's the pills.
Silly me. I had already made up a batch of iced tea before the good doctor came over.
Thanks, Dulcie.
Has she told you about those men yet?
Dulcie.
They were very rude and bothersome, poking in and out of our lives, looking here and there, acting very mysterious.
You weren't at the accident site.
No. No, I didn't come to work for Trudy until after. But they knew everything about me as well. Said they liked to know who they were talking to. Trudy will tell you they were very rude.
Oh, you got a good look at their ID badges?
Oh, yes.
And they looked okay to you?
Of course. I'm not the kind of person who would let just anybody through the door.
I haven't shown you any identification. Mrs. Foote, we were talking about your sense of loss, your sense of anger.
I was very furious with them. I mean, of all the nerve.
I believe that question was directed at me, Dulcie. Why don't you go bring us some more tea?
But you haven't finished that one yet.
No, we may want some more.
Quite possibly.
Very well. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, take your
Take
time.
your time. She means well.
I'm sure. Now, why do you think these men have been calling on you?
I don't know.
Oh, now you sound insincere.
All right, then. I prefer not to say.
Why not?
I can't explain.
Or don't want to?
As you wish.
No, as you do. Mrs. Foote, whoever these people are, they are not playing a game.
I know that.
They're looking for something. And I don't think they're going to be too fussy about how they go about achieving that end. Now, if you know something...
And what if I do? And what if I also know it can't help them? Or me, or you, or anybody else involved? What's the point?
What's the point of hanging on to it?
I believe it would be wrong to tell anybody.
Because?
Because it can do a lot of damage to a lot of people.
How so?
I can't say.
Can't or won't?
Can't. I'm not sure how some people will react to this.
Something about the accident?
The only thing about the accident that pertains to this is that those of us who survived got our cages rattled.
Well, that part's normal.
No, it isn't. Up here, we feel and we see and we think differently.
We, meaning the victims of the crash?
And it's not just the trauma. It's not just the anger. It's just that we're tuned into a different frequency.
Frequency?
I can sometimes pick up what that boy's thinking. I sometimes feel what's going on in your polite little friend's heart. I'm older. Maybe I'm wiser, more aware. But somewhere inside them, they also know what I'm seeing. They just don't recognize it yet.
Telepathy?
Call it what you want.
So how do these men tie in?
I said all I'm going to say.
But...
More iced tea, everybody? More iced tea? I put in extra lemons and sugar. What happened? Why the glum faces? Where were we? Are you all done talking already? Oh. What did I miss? Oh, shoot.
Grams!
Excuse me?
You must be Grams. We're old friends of Johnny, here to pay a cordial call.
Just a minute. Johnny? Johnny! There are some men outside who say they know you.
What do they look like?
Well, they're...
Never mind. I'll talk to them.
Johnny, my man! What's up? How's tricks? Told you we'd be back. Old Blue here was so anxious to see you, he spilled Cheerios all over himself at breakfast.
What do you guys want this time?
To see you, old pal. To learn how you're getting on. So, how you getting on?
Johnny, who are these people?
Mind if we come in and set a spell?
Johnny?
I'll take care of it, Gramps.
But who are they?
Anything you want to say to me, you can say to me through the door.
Too late. We're already inside. Look at it, colleague. A domicile of darling domesticity bathed in bourgeois beatitude.
Cozy as conies in Kansas, colleague.
Give me the heartland anytime.
Backbone of America.
The spleen of integrity.
The upper colon of community consciousness.
Mind if we sit down?
Could I stop you?
Johnny, I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
No, I don't believe you have. Johnny, You've been remiss. What is Grams to think of us?
Don't call her that.
We work for the government, Mrs. Sitzmark. I'm Agent Black. This is Agent Blue.
What do you want with my Johnny?
We three have become fast friends of late. Haven't we, Johnny?
They're snoops, Grams, that's all they are.
That's hardly a description befitting us, bro. Technically, we are concerned administrators on behalf of the welfare of your being.
Social workers? You're here to examine how he's being taken care of?
Not in so many terms. We are here to see how Johnny is weathering his own private psychological storm.
They want to know what I see.
If you would have it so, yes.
I can assure you I'm doing the best I can to take care of him.
I'm sure you are. It must be a difficult shift for both of you, if for no other reason than its suddenness.
You can rest easy, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, but that's not entirely true, is it? Some of your ideas have made their way onto paper, haven't they? Maybe even email?
Crap.
What are they talking about?
Yes, Johnny. Why don't you explain it to us all?
It's nothing. It's something they're making up.
Johnny. I'm sure Grams does not want you spreading lies.
What lies? What's going on?
Would your dearly departed parents, rest their souls, want you to behave this way?
Somebody tell me what's happening here.
Mrs. Sitzmark, Johnny here tells me you make a bitchin' cinnamon apple cider.
No, I didn't.
We've come a long way just to sample it. Agent Blue here has been remarking all day about how good that cinnamon apple cider will taste going down.
Yum.
I'll get you some. Johnny, what is it? What's happening here?
It's complicated. I don't even know myself what it's all about.
Are they threatening you for some reason?
Mrs. Sitzmark, we are here to protect Johnny in any way we can.
Protect him from what?
Johnny, I understand you've been doodling. It was my understanding that you were interested in the cello. May we see some of your doodles? Why don't you bring them out while Grams gets us that cider? Agent Blue is an art school graduate himself. I'm sure he would be especially thrilled to see your work.
Tempura runs through my veins.
Please, I don't mean to be inhospitable, but Johnny, our whole family has had to undergo quite a lot lately, and...
To be sure. Why do bad things happen to good people? Ah, Agent Blue?
There ought to be a law, Agent Black.
But that's exactly why we are here, to help Johnny. But we can't help him unless he lets us help him. Isn't that right, Johnny? So we'll wait. And when you return, young man, you can tell us some of those stories you've been promising us.
Johnny?
We're just waiting on apple cider.
Hello? Hello?
Miss Handy.
How did you get up here? There's no stairway.
Just paying you a friendly call.
What is it you want this time?
We thought we'd stop by to see how you're doing. Mind if we come in?
Actually? What is it this time?
My colleague was just saying to me, how's that charming waitress doing? He's a worrier, that one. Always looking out for his fellow human being. We just had to stop by, being in the neighborhood.
Oh, you just happened to be in the neighborhood.
Life's a funny thing.
Cut the crap. What is it?
I detect some attitude on our waitress's part, colleague.
Unbecoming, colleague.
Careful now. You are likely to lose some of your charm.
Listen, I did some checking up on you guys. Your own department has no record of you or anybody else investigating me.
No.
Why would they?
I believe the error lies in the word investigation.
There is no investigation.
We were never here.
We are not here now.
What do you want?
I think you know what we want. I think you know when, where, and why we are here. I think you know all about those people whom you shared a car crash with. I think they keep popping up in your head. At night, at work, on a bus, in a supermarket. I think you can't get them out of your mind. I think you can't admit it to yourself and keep blocking it out. I think you are afraid to find out. I think you can't face the fact that we are here.
I think so too.
Leave me alone. I don't owe you any explanations of anything.
No. You would rather explain yourself to that doctor friend of yours.
How do you know about him?
That's not a serious question, is it, Miss Handy?
She's pulling our leg.
Ah, that's it. Part of her charm. No wonder you get such big tips.
Go away. Just go away.
Are we put off that easily, Miss Handy?
Are we wusses?
Do you think we can't stop you any time we want to? Any place we want to? Do you believe a door latch or a car lock keeps us out? Do you not think we know what's going on inside that muddled brain of yours? Are we that easily intimidated?
I'll call the police!
Hear that, Agent Blue? She's threatening us with 911.
I'm all goosey, pimply.
Or perhaps you would rather send that big, mean psychologist after us.
Have couch, will prattle.
Is that how you intend to get rid of us? Save yourself? Save the others? By sending a great, menacing therapist to analyze us?
Protective wings of productive shrinks.
What do you want from me?
I would check my diary if I were you.
I don't keep one.
Start.
Look, I want you gone within the next... Oh, those horrible, horrible men.
Well, just take it easy, Mrs. Sitzmark. I'm trying to help you.
And don't think that I don't appreciate it. It's just that I have such a sensitive system. You can't believe what our family has been through this past month.
Oh, I can well imagine.
And they just won't leave us alone. First the press and now them.
It must be difficult.
Well, they just sat there and they wouldn't go. Not until Johnny, poor child, gave them some of his drawings.
Drawings? What kind of drawings?
I don't know. I didn't really get a good look at them, but they took one look at them and gathered them all up and went out the door with so much as a fare thee well.
That's all they wanted?
They sat here for half an hour until Johnny gave them up. Now, those sketches apparently were special to him, too. Oh, he's such a clever boy, and he likes to keep to himself, and he certainly doesn't like his privacy invaded, especially now, poor child.
Well, I'm sure it's going to take him some time to figure things out.
Exactly. That's what I told his relatives who are trying to shuttle him off to God knows where. Leave the boy alone, I said. Give him time to sort things out. He's had such a terrible shock, you know. Oh, haven't we all?
Well, things like this do take a period of adjustment.
That's what I told Hilda. Does she listen to me? Never. I swear the girl doesn't have any sense in her head whatsoever. Oh, I'm sorry. Hilda is Johnny's aunt. You're so kind to listen.
Well, I'm just trying to find out what I can and to help out in any way that I can.
In all this for your little friend.
Well, actually, her father and I went to school together. She's practically my niece.
Oh, how sweet. How is she doing?
Well, fine, except for all of this.
It is disturbing, isn't it? Well, if she should need something cosmetically, I am a Mary Kay representative. Oh, and I can give you a brochure that you can take to her. We're having special on lipstick in an array of metallic colors. Oh, it's quite the rage now. Oh, and mascara bargains. Oh, I can tell you everything we have is on sale. You know, it's getting close to summer. Oh, and I can get extra specials for her, too, because of my tenure. I've been doing this for a long time. Oh, and I must give you our new coupon book.
Well, I'm sure it's all very nice, but...
Yes, here I am prattling on about makeup and cosmetics, and I must look a fright myself.
You're fine. Just a little unhinged from your ordeal.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly it. Unhinged. That's exactly the way I feel. Oh, you are so insightful, Doctor. And you have a kind face.
Well, it's a little smashed in from my football days.
Still, decent. I can read people's faces, and yours reads decency. Not like those other two.
Well, call me Chuck. I'm retired now, and this is not a professional call.
But you understand, that's the point. Oh, and you can call me Eloise.
Okay, well, tell me about them. Just two men showed up with suits and sunglasses?
Which they never removed.
And what else can you tell me about them?
Well, let's see, what did I read in their faces? Nothing really. Oh, yes. Presumptuous, rude, cold, impersonal.
Like a government bureau?
Yes, now that you mention it. Oh, but to badger a family that's still in mourning and to pursue a young boy just for his artwork, an innocent boy.
Had you ever seen any of this artwork before?
No, actually, he wasn't into drawing pictures. He was much better at drawing figures, numbers.
Would you say that he started this drawing of his just since the accident?
I don't know. I really didn't know anything about it until those men appeared. Actually, he's only been living with me for the past couple of weeks.
So we have two government agents who just show up at your door and want to see and abscond with some sketches by a high school sophomore? Is that the picture that we have here?
I guess. It sounds kind of odd, doesn't it?
It sounds very odd to me, Mrs. Sitzmark.
Oh, please. Call me Emily.
Eloise.
Whatever.
Do you know if any such drawings are around now?
No, those men were quite adamant that they got all of the pictures and maps that he had.
Maps? Were some of these drawings of maps?
From what I could tell, that's what it looked like to me.
Do you know if he showed any of these drawings to anyone else? Maybe to some friends? Somebody else might have some?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Johnny was a loner, as I told you, and he didn't have many friends, and he didn't really see anybody outside of school after the accident.
Inside school?
I don't know. Maybe. They're studying for finals right now, so I'm not sure how much socializing he's been doing. Maybe one of his teachers might know.
Has he ever mentioned anything else? Like, has he had any unusual dreams? Or has he maybe tried to contact any of the other victims of the crash?
Oh, good heavens, no. As I told you, Johnny hasn't been talking. He hasn't ever been a talkative boy from the very beginning.
Well, thank you, Eloise. Here, I'm going to write down my number for you.
Oh, I hope I have been some use to you, Chuck.
I'm sure you have. But if you think of anything else or need to talk over anything, day or night, don't hesitate to call.
Oh, of course not. I know I'm going to need to talk these things over. I'm so weak. I need strong support.
Well, I'll do what I can.
Oh, and the burden of carrying on the family all alone has just gotten too much for me to bear, especially with the crisis in raising Johnny. And it's been especially difficult since my husband has died. Gone 5 years now.
Oh, well, I know how that is. My wife has been gone now for 3 years.
Oh, has she? Shame.
Well, I don't want to intrude any further. So, thank you.
Oh, no intrusion. Oh, please, intrude on me anytime you wish. I make a wonderful apple pie. My family owns an orchard. Oh, well, I did say I would get that brochure for you, and be sure to tell your niece about our specials.
Friend, actually, and I will.
I must say, it's nice that Johnny has such concerned family looking out for him.
Well, I'm not family. Actually, I've never met the boy.
Oh? Then why are you here?
I'm doing something of a follow-up investigation, purely amateur style, regarding the victims of the Highway 57 crash. One of them is a good friend of mine, and she's become alarmed lately because of a certain turn of events. So I'm trying to tie up some loose ends, and one of them leads to Johnny.
What kind of turn of events?
I'm not sure. It seems that she's been bothered by these private investigators. They've been going around asking people a lot of questions. I want to see what it is they're after.
How can I help you?
Well, being one of Johnny's teachers, I thought you might be able to offer some insight into his behavior. Has his behavior changed any since the crash?
Well, he's always been a quiet boy. Lately, it's as if he's in a plastic bubble. No one can get near him.
Has he taken to doodling in class? Has he made any maps or charts or anything like that?
I'm not his art teacher.
No, he doesn't take art. I checked.
As a matter of fact, he has. He left some behind the other day. I almost threw them out, but for some reason I set them aside.
May I see them?
I don't understand what this has to do with the accident.
Well, I'm not sure either. It just seems that there may be some people who are interested in seeing them.
Why don't you just ask Johnny?
I tried that. When I went to visit him, he was away for the weekend. And besides, I don't think he's going to be very responsive to speaking with strangers right now. I just don't think I'd get very far with him.
Well,
His grandmother said it would be all right.
I guess it wouldn't harm anything. At first I thought he was simply taking notes. Then I realized he had been scribbling all hour. Just left it behind as if it was unimportant. He's been very distracted, very absent-minded lately, you know. Just looks like gibberish to me. Make anything out of it?
No. I don't know.
Does this help?
I'm not sure. Can I take these with me? I'd really like to study them further.
Johnny didn't seem to want them, and I really don't either. But seeing as how you're not family, I really should talk to Johnny first.
Could I photocopy them?
I really should ask Johnny.
Could you call his grandmother?
I guess that would be okay.
You need the number?
No, I have it.
I'll wait. Holy shit. I'm trying to help you.
That's what they said.
Did those men tell you they were from the government?
I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Is that what they told you? I believe that these men are lying, and I think that they're trying to hide something.
Really?
How often do you see these creatures?
Every now and then. I don't go looking for them.
Well, of course. So, are you seeing one now?
You think I'm crazy, don't you? They told me this. The men said if I ever spoke up that this would happen, people will think I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy. I'm just trying to get the facts. But I do believe that these men want you to think you're crazy, approximately. Is there another name you go by, something for short?
No. Why?
I'm just wondering.
No, everybody calls me approximately. Except sometimes... Never mind.
I've been talking to some of the others from the crash, and they all admit to having some kind of a series of these visions ever since the incident. Now, that itself is unusual, but now we have these government agents, or men who claim to be government agents, breathing down all of your necks, trying to get the answer to these very questions. Now, the mutual visions themselves, those are atypical, but these interrogations, they make no sense whatsoever, unless there was something on one of those trucks that affected all of you. Maybe some kind of a substance that was both toxic and classified. I think you people are all being used.
How? You mean chemical weapons?
Maybe. Since these visions seem to be different for everyone, there must be something about the crash that ties it all together. Do you remember seeing a truck or a trailer or anything like that that looked suspicious to you in any way?
Well, there was the paint truck that caught fire. As far as I know, it was only carrying paint. There was the hazmat squad there. They went away after the fire was out, so... I mean, there were ambulances and police. Everything was pretty ordinary.
Do you remember anything about the hazmat squad that caught your attention?
I wasn't comprehending things very well. I don't know.
Did you ever see any visions of these dinosaurs before the accident?
I never saw them before the accident. I would have loved to. I mean, who wouldn't, right? But no, I never saw them.
Okay. Is there anything that changes in your mental or emotional state when you have these visions? Anything at all? Your headaches, ringing in the ears, an unusual odor, any medications that you might take, anything that might bring these visions on or that would be an after effect?
No. Okay. When I see them, I feel, I don't know, what kind of elevated?
Like an altered state of awareness, you mean?
I guess.
So a sort of non-reality. Okay. Okay, look, I want you to give me a call if you remember anything else about the accident. And if these guys show up again, don't let them bully you, and be careful what you say to them, and get rid of them as quickly as you can.
How do I do that?
I wish I knew approximately how.
A teacher's job is never done.
Never.
Who are you? How did you get in here?
Prunella chloroplast,
Yes?
you care deeply about your students, don't you?
I'm sorry, but you're going to have to
Do
explain.
you care about your country?
What?
Would you like to see it not ruined by fanatical terrorists?
I don't follow.
Ms. Chloroplast, may I call you Prunella? Or would you just prefer prune?
Breakfast of champions.
What are you here for?
You, prune.
I can call security.
You don't have to. We're here. We are security. That's why we are here. On secure business. I like my job, Pruny. Do you know why? Because I get to protect the country from fanatical terrorists. Keeping the country safe is what we do best.
Semper Fi. Actually, we don't have a slogan. I just threw that in there.
Do you know how we keep the country safe? By finding out where terrorists may lie before they strike and rooting them out.
Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame.
And if these terrorist cells happen to take place in a schoolroom, it is my job and the job of my junior partner here to do something about it.
Terrorist cells? What is this?
It appears you've been handing out tickets to defense secrets to the enemy. Have I correctly assessed the situation, Agent Blue?
You have, Agent Black.
What are you people talking about?
You have freely given out drawings that aren't yours. They happen to belong to a young Mr. Hate, I believe.
Johnny? You're here about Johnny? Oh my God. The men. What do you want? What's Johnny got to do with anything? What do you want from me?
In order to perform my job's function, to keep terrorists at bay, it is sometimes necessary for me to play the bad guy. Isn't that right, junior partner?
Regrettable, senior partner.
But defend my country I must.
Semper. I did that one already.
You do believe the country must be defended, right? You are a patriot, aren't you? Ms. Chloroplast. Teach. Pruny, baby.
I don't know what this is about, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Go ahead. Ask.
We don't mind.
Look, get out now!
We will, but after you.
Ladies first.
This is the part of the scene where you scream.
Fade to black.
Excuse me. Are you Mr. Humble Gardens?
Who wants to know?
I'm looking for him for a friend of mine. He was a fellow victim of that Highway 57 crash.
I don't know nothing. I was just out here getting the smoke. I always get my tobacco in the alley. I'm with the band. We're playing inside tonight.
It's karaoke night. Look, I just want to ask you a few questions.
I don't know nothing. Hey!
Wait. Come back. Can you help me arrange to get everyone together? Well, as many as you can. There's something that I'd like all of you to see, and I'd like to get all of you at the same place in the same time and see how you react to each other. I don't know why these men are following you, but I am beginning to detect a pattern. Well, the implications could be, well, dicey. Okay, well, get back to me as soon as you can. Well, thanks. Bye-bye. Chuck? How the hell did you get in here?
Some of us don't keep our doors secure. Isn't that right, colleague?
Absolutely, colleague.
That doesn't mean you can just walk in here.
Oh, but I knocked, didn't I?
3 times. Knock, knock, knock.
But you were on the phone. No doubt you didn't hear.
AT&T to SBC.
But we heard you.
Clear as a pin drop on Sprint.
And we just had to stop by.
What are friends for?
Friends?
You know who we are.
I've heard of you.
And we you, Dr. Sneezeguard. You are you not?
What do you want?
To visit.
Make your point and get out of here.
That's no way to treat a guest, is it?
Not gracious.
I know what you do to people.
He knows, Agent Blue. Prophetic, isn't he? I wonder if he can tell the future.
No, I can't. Now, what are you two looking for, and why are you bothering all these people?
I could ask you the same. It seems you've been following in our footprints.
Sniffing like a bloodhound.
That's an odd thing for a retired psychologist to do. Oh, but wait. You have an interest in the Air Force. Didn't I hear that somewhere, Agent Blue?
You did indeed, Agent Black.
Oh, that's right. You were in the Air Force. That's who paid for your degree, wasn't it?
Paid in full.
How could we not honor a commitment we gave to one who dedicated himself to us?
The heart of a true patriot.
And how could he refuse in turn to honor one for us?
The eyes of Texas are upon you.
An airman. A flyboy.
Actually, I was on the ground crew.
Ah. A near airman, then.
No-fly zone.
What do you want?
We want you to be a happy retiree and buzz away from matters that don't concern thee.
Buzz off.
And if I don't?
Buzz, buzz. I detect a busy bee.
Buzz.
So busy, he's getting frizzy.
Buzz.
So, Chuck. May I call you Chuck?
Chuck the duck.
Chucky?
Pluck a muck. Who makes the cluck?
Chuckles.
Cluck. Cluck. Cluck.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chewy toy.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Would he walk to Iowega or wend his way to Wausau?
Why, he'd wish he was a whaler watching waves from Walla Walla.
You can't intimidate me like you did the others.
Chucky, are we here to intimidate you? A veteran?
Chuck.
Chuck. Chuck. Chuck. What is a veteran after all?
Chuck. Chuck. Chuck.
Chuck.
Chuck.
A person but dedicated to true American values.
Chuck.
And what are they?
The very question I was going to ask you.
Chuck.
Chuck. Chuck.
Chuck.
Seems to me it has to do with invading people's privacy as of late.
But haven't you heard?
Chuck.
Are you somehow ill-informed?
Chuck.
There's terrorism everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere. What a scare. It's everywhere.
There's terrorism in the skies, terrorism in our flies, terrorism here and there, terror, terror, everywhere.
Coming to get you, sucker.
And we have to take steps to prevent it. That's what we do.
Mojo magic.
By talking to people about a car crash?
Not just any car crash, the car crash.
Bash, smash.
The car crash of the century.
Guinness Book of Records.
And what makes it so?
I feel our money was wasted on the good doctor's education, Agent Blue. Our doctor seems to be a dummy.
Dummy Doc. Dr. Doofus. Dumb and dumber.
Unless he's just playing dumb. Are you playing dumb, Doctor?
What do you want?
Pictures. I'm a fan of pictures.
What pictures?
Dumb and dumberer.
I have nothing for you.
Nothing here, you mean? Perhaps a safety deposit box or a locker at the health club.
You've worn out your welcome.
But we haven't sampled any of your fine selection of imported beers yet.
I don't have any.
Too bad. I could go for a fine Bavarian Pilsner right about now. Couldn't you, Agent Blue?
Wet my whistle. Paint my pucker.
I'm telling you to leave.
And what if we don't? What if we just camped here for the night?
S'mores, anyone?
Don't think I won't resort to violence.
A violent shrink, colleague. Doctor Destructo.
Mad menace of the Mayo Clinic.
How much wood would Chucky chuck if Chucky could shucky wood?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
How many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick?
A boy toyed timidly with his toy boat till it tilted towards Toledo.
Rutabaga, rutabaga, rutabaga.
You people are absolutely mad.
Madder than a hatter?
Nutty as a neutered newt.
Is that your diagnosis, Doctor? You know, one of your stature shouldn't bandy such words about. It's most unprofessional.
Get out of my house.
Correction. Apartment. One should qualify these things.
Be specific, and penmanship counts.
That's it, I've had it. I'm calling the police.
On that phone?
Ha, ha.
All right. What's it going to take for you two to leave me alone?
What will it take, Agent Blue?
Cooperation to start with, Dr. Doofus.
You two are going after that boy, aren't you?
We don't go after anybody. We seek out and destroy terrorists and all those who cooperate with terrorists. That is our calling.
Call to arms.
I can't let you do that.
You can't. You have decided all by yourself the fate of the world. What an impressive education you must have had.
Worth every penny of our money.
Chucky Wucky, he's been busy. Chucky Wucky, he's a sissy. Got a tiger by the tail. He's afraid he'll go to jail. Thinks he's got some secret sources, but he's up against huge forces.
Hasn't got a chance to make it. He's just hoping he can fake it.
Wants to save the world from evil.
But he's just a potato weevil. I was never very good at rhyming, sir.
Shut up!
I detect an attitude problem on our hands, colleague. Cream him, crush him, we don't care.
We want a touchdown over there.
Go away!
It seems all that talk of violence was just a ruse. We'll be back, Doctor. It just kills me the way that guy says that in that movie. I'll be back.
My favorite. And so true.
Good evening, Chuck. Pleasant dreams.
I suppose you're all wondering why I called you together this evening? What is the one thing that ties all of you together besides the crash? Visions. Now, what is it about these visions that would interest Washington?
They want to know what we see?
And what would that be?
Well, they seem to know everything else about us. What else is there for them to know?
I had the same question. Unless they fear what we know.
They're afraid.
In a sense, yes. What did they tell you?
That everything I see is in my head?
Where they can't get at it. I believe that they want you all to doubt yourselves. But that doesn't mean that the things that you see are not real.
Because it hasn't happened yet.
Do you care to explain that?
We're looking at the future.
Dinosaurs?
Or maybe some other time. And this young man here provided the clue for me. Do you recognize these, Johnny?
Some of my own sketches.
Now, what is so interesting about these is that these government agents want to get their hands on them.
Johnny, answer the good doctor.
You know, most people wouldn't find these very interesting. Your teacher didn't. But I used to be in the Air Force, and since I still like to keep up on what they're doing, I found them very interesting. Can you tell me what this is, Johnny?
Johnny?
It's Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, isn't it, Johnny? But all the photos I have of it are 20 years old. This building isn't in them.
It's a new one.
How do you know that?
I just do is all.
How about this down here?
That one hasn't been built yet.
When's it going to be built?
2 years.
What are they going to use it for? How about this one? MacDill Air Force Base? Only with some modifications I don't recognize. Some new installations? How about this? Lockheed Martin in Colorado. Only it's different.
An upgrade.
To what? How about this? Do you recognize it? Rachel, Nevada. Groom Lake Air Force Base. Skunk Works Test Site. Area 51. And these. Recently declassified test aircraft. A plutonium-powered interplanetary aircraft. A flying saucer, no less. What are you doing with this stuff, kid?
They're just doodles, that's all.
Just doodles. Are we to believe that you're sitting around in math or English or study hall, just doodling, and you're coming up with things from our most secret military bases that have not even been in the planning stages yet in the Pentagon? All without even consulting a reference library? This is what you're doodling? The photos I have of these are 20 years old.
All right, so yeah, I see things. What about it?
There's a couple of agents out there that'll tell you what about it.
And how would they know? These look like scribblings to me.
But they're not just scribblings, are they, Johnny?
That doesn't explain how they knew or why they're pursuing the rest of us.
It's because we all know about it.
I don't.
You weren't in the crash.
Everybody in the crash is linked to everybody else.
Not everybody. Didn't you tell me that you feel a sort of connection to the others?
Sometimes.
Now, does that connection feel stronger now that you're here with everyone?
Yes.
Anyone else feel that way?
Now that you mention it, I do feel stronger, more energized.
Anyone else?
Yeah. I would have to concur on that.
Does anyone feel like there's something missing?
No, but I know what you're getting at. There were 2 others who made it out of the crash. But neither one is here.
One of them was hospitalized shortly after the crash for a depression, I'm told. This was right after I spoke with him, or after I tried to speak with him. The other one was a bail bondsman. He died 2 days ago. There is some confusion as to whether it was heart failure or something self-induced. None of you knew? None of you felt any connection whatsoever to these two men?
I don't understand how all of us know each other.
You don't know each other, but you're connected to each other by more than just the crash.
By what?
Hey, is this the place where the crash nuts are meeting?
Shit, couldn't you find a better secret place to meet?
Who the hell are you?
This is the 57 Crash Nut Group, right? Hey, Titanic Embers, Titanic Productions, film, television. You can call me Ty. My ex-wife does.
Mine's blue.
Mine's pink. Mine's the corner of a piece of paper.
Mine's a napkin.
Well, I'm working with a new printer, and they like to vary their styles. It's kind of a new fashion thing. Hey, so what'd I miss?
Who invited you? How did you find us? Does anybody here know this man?
I have a descrambler for the internet. It picks up other people's emails. Hey, you can get the parts at Radio Shack, for God's sake. Hello there. How you doing? Titanic Embers, Titanic Productions. You can call me Ty. My ex-wife does.
And this is legal?
Who said anything about being legal? Say, you're not too bad. I run a modeling agency, and can you do underwear?
Mr. Embers, if it's not too much trouble, would you mind telling us what you're doing here?
Sure. I heard about all of your problems. I want to help you.
Help how?
Look, you guys are all nutcases, right? You all read minds or something, right?
Mr. Embers, Ty, I don't think you appreciate what these people have been going through.
What? You all see lights in the sky or monsters or some cockamamie thing, and people don't understand you, right? So what's to know? I can help get your message out to the general public, eh? Get all those mullahs from freaking Iowa or wherever to feel sorry for you and back you up. It will be a grabber. You'll have support and money on your side. I do television, independent films, radio, commercials, you name it. I know Michael Ovitz. Phone.
Michael Ovitz is out of the business.
Oh, yeah, that gay mafia thing. No wonder he doesn't return my phone calls. Hey, sweetie, what's your name?
Holiday Handy.
That stinks. What about Luella Laverne?
That sounds like a stripper.
Great. A little publicity money, and we can get that nose of yours fixed for a discount.
What's wrong with my nose?
You're kidding me, right? I mean, you got star potential, but you can't go out there looking like that. I talk to the right people. I bet I can get them to throw in your chin for free.
My chin?
What are you telling that poor girl?
Relax, sister. No one's even going to point a camera in your direction.
No one needs you here either.
Mr. Embers, this is a private meeting. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Wait a minute. He's got a point.
You mean you want this person to stay?
Well, he's not my first choice, but he could be to our advantage.
How?
Listen to the old bat, all right? You guys need me for your cause. Ignore the old lesbian over there.
I am not a lesbian.
I repeat, how?
I am not a lesbian.
We will need a liaison between us and the outside world.
Him?
I think she's right. After all, he is here now as a witness.
A witness to what? We don't even know ourselves why we're here.
I am not.
Maybe if we can get back to where we were before we were so rudely interrupted.
I sure think, Bud, but if I could just slip in here for a moment to tell you what I can do.
I wish you would. I feel our evening wouldn't be a success without you.
Hey, picture this. You're an average yokel from New Jersey, and you've just come home from whatever the hell it is people in New Jersey do. You're a factory worker or whatever. You eat your dinner, you drink some beer, you slap the wife around, and at last you're ready for some TV. So as you're surfing through the 92 other channels of junk, suddenly, there it is. Real life stories of the suddenly crazy. It's reality TV gone paranormal. Every week we bring on some other fruitcake who has some story to tell about Martians or some other goddamn thing. And who's it starring? You folks. One by one, each of you come on and tell your stories for the first few weeks. And then after that we get guests to come in from no-name Idaho where they see werewolves or something. We can have seances or any other kind of crap that you guys can cook up right on camera. And on the screen, produced by Titanic Productions. What?
Dear God.
Oh, not flashy enough for you. Okay. What about this? We lock you all in a cabin in the woods, and you have to find your way out, and all you have to eat are worms.
What?
All of the reality TV shows have people eating worms. It's expected.
Oh, fine, and have the ASPCA on us.
Not to mention having our stomachs pumped.
Oh, really?
Listen, the ASPCA, all they care about are cute and cuddly animals like baby seals. Nobody gives a rat's ass about worms. Besides, you guys have to learn to make sacrifices, okay?
Mrs. Foote, would you kindly remind me as to why we're keeping him here? Because if I have to listen to any more drivel out of this imbecile...
I never said he was full of good ideas, but I think we should keep him on hand.
Fine. He can stay under one condition. That he shut up.
Amen.
I have no problem with that.
I got some other ideas, okay? You want to hear?
No.
Mr. Embers, if you want to stay, kindly take a seat in the back.
Hey, listen, talk to me after this is over. I can get that boob job for you cheap. Trust me.
A moment ago it was my chin.
Well, yeah, that too, but face it, chins don't sell tickets, all right? Hey, you don't mind if I take notes, do you? Thanks.
Now, if we can pick up from where we were before we were so rudely interrupted. Have any of you been spreading information on the internet? If Mr. TV here can find us, probably just about anybody else can too, including our friends from the federal government.
There's a system that creates a crossover effect. Phone calls to email and back.
Then they may already know about this, so we may get interrupted by our friends again, and this time maybe not so pleasantly. I suggest we adjourn for another time.
I hate to be a party pooper, but I'm in no mood to run.
We just got her down here.
If they know, they know. Make your point and let's get out.
6 people survived a car crash. 4 of you are here. 1 is recently dead from what I suspect are very, very suspicious circumstances. And 1 of them you feel no connection to whatsoever, but you somehow feel connected to each other. Now, it may have been that there was a chemical spill there that affected all of you. Or maybe you were all chosen.
Chosen?
Maybe by accident. Each of you has developed a purpose. Johnny here can spy into military air defense, even some things that are years from completion. Mr. Hughes can see dinosaurs.
Yeah. Man, you guys are really screwed up. This is going to be great.
Mr. Embers, please. Continue.
Well, that's not all I see. Libraries of gene files. Laboratories. A genome project. Like the Human Genome Project, only it's been fixed. Altered. It's recombinant DNA. But with new codes. You see, I didn't tell you this before because the images weren't as clear and I knew I was dreaming them, but the dinosaur visions I had while I was wide awake, or I thought I was wide awake.
I've seen the facility he's talking about. It's being built in Northern California.
Yeah. See, they're practicing right now on lab and farm animals. they're taking, right, these scrapings of skin samples, Tasmanian wolf, a woolly mammoth. You see, extinct animals that they had DNA for. Now next, it'll be fossil material completely built in a computer.
Offshore facility, Caribbean.
You mean like Jurassic Park?
Sort of. See, they've been following this old/new textbook, like a recipe for some of this.
Old/new?
Yeah, new to us, but actually quite old. See, above all, what they've been doing is toying with human stem cells, changing DNA structure. I mean, now there have always been rumors of alien-human hybrids, right?
What is this textbook?
Old Sumerian texts. Broken, missing. Some recently translated.
Are you implying ancient astronauts?
I guess. Only, see, there's a new copy from a new source that they're comparing with it.
So you mean to say that the Roswell crash ties in with this?
That would be my guess. These stories have always been related by some.
So what's the purpose in all of this?
It's a joint program. Some big government, some business.
And you're picking this up?
50 years from now, they'll be spinning rings around DNA. Only some of it will be made public. Mr. Hughes here knows biotechnology. He can see the results. Young Johnny here knows facilities, mechanical engineering, and aeronautics. And he can map it all out for you. I can do neither. I can just tell you who's going to win the World Series 20 years from now.
Oh, well, maybe that explains the visits from our friends. Although I kind of doubt that they're interested in sports scores. But you know, if you could apply this to the lottery, you could be lucky for some and kind of scary for others.
What about me? If we're all developing some sort of psychic power that links us, what part do I play?
Think about it, my dear. Do you or do you not feel stronger now that you are here with us all together? Try to clear your mind. What is it that you see?
Nothing.
Concentrate. Try and block out the room for a moment. Stop resisting.
Okay, but I don't get... Wait. I'm...
Oh my God! What is it?
Oh. Can I have a drink of water? Thanks. Got real dizzy there for a second. All of a sudden, I had such a jolt of pain. And those people I see, they're not from the accident. They're from years from now.
How so?
There's a lot of turmoil ahead. Flooded cities, burning fields, overcrowding ozone.
That boob job is gonna get you on the news.
Oh, shut up, Mr. Embers.
You are our heart, my dear.
And you?
The clucking tongue, the Cassandra of the Bible Belt, the one no one will believe.
Are you all right, dearie?
Yes, thanks.
Mrs. Foote, you've been leading us on a wild goose chase this whole time with your riddles. If you know something that could save us a few steps, I'd appreciate hearing it.
It's all about death, for all of us. But for me, it's a long life and an ugly life.
Meaning?
We all know exactly where, when, and how we're going to die. Only none of us have come to grips with that. And none of us can get it out of our minds. It's not just the tragedy of the accident that's making us so down, so prophetic. It's the fact that death sits down with us at every meal and wakes us up every morning. We are all watching the clock tick away.
Is this true for all of you?
have 5 years left. June 18th, 2:03 p.m. Second car crash. Right in the middle of Transitway Boulevard. It's just a dream. It's always there. More and more I see those men just standing there, waiting for me.
That doesn't mean it's real.
Like the dinosaurs?
I see them more and more too. I see myself dying 4 years from now. On September 7th, 11:20 at night. Drug overdose, bad supplier.
Oh, how can you be so sure? Me too.
Lather. Rinse. Repeat.
Kidney failure. 6 years from now. April 13th, 9 o'clock at night. After 4 years of treatments and suffering.
I'll go through all sorts of treatments, therapies, operations, mostly to appease my family. But I'll never walk again. I'll spend the rest of my life mostly in this chair. There'll be new advances in medicine, but they won't be able to help me. I develop complications. Starting this year, I lose speech. I spent the last 2 years of my life in a coma. I'm 71 pounds when I go, and those men are witness.
How can you possibly know all this? I mean, can't you change your futures? Can't you just not be on that street and not buy the drugs? And can't you change your diet and your lifestyle?
No. No matter how you try to change it, how you try to alter your pathway, it has already been set.
Surely this can't be right. I can't believe that the future is unalterable.
This has to be wrong. Johnny is a good boy. He would never be involved with drugs.
It's the way it is, Grams.
You have your whole life in front of you. Sure, things may look bleak now, but in a year or so...
He's telling you the truth. For you, maybe the future will not change. For us, it will be the same. We were all living on borrowed time. We were all supposed to die a month ago, but we've been granted a stay of execution. Only our recall date has been fixed.
How can this possibly be? Who says so?
Just is.
In the visions?
Tell me, doctor, if you knew the exact place, the exact minute of your death, and nothing you could do to change it, what would you do?
I don't know. But if there was enough time, I don't know, maybe give to charity. Maybe go on a world tour. I don't know.
No one knows until it happens to them. We've all known this for a month, and nobody knows how to deal with it. We may drown our misery, develop an ability we never had. The only time you have left is to compress remaining time. It's what you become when life tells you there's no place else to go.
Wow, this is heavy stuff. Hey, I got another idea. How about people who know they're dying? No, wait, too long a title. Dying people. Yeah, that's it. Every week we try on a new schmuck that has cancer or something.
Sit down, Mr. Embers.
Right.
How much future do you know?
My lifetime plus 50 years. Same for them, more or less.
What can you see?
I don't see. I know. The ladies feel. The boys see. We're a unit. Think alchemy. The young boy here is a high-minded engineer.
Air.
Mr. Hughes is biotechnology. Energy.
Both male. East and south. And Halliday, you said, was the heart. Water. Intuition. West. And you are?
Old Mother Earth who keeps getting kicked in the pants.
The 4 cardinal directions. An alchemical circle. And those other 2 guys, they didn't pick up on this because they couldn't.
They didn't have the proper temperament.
You make it sound like you were chosen. Why alchemy?
I don't know if it was deliberate. Alchemy, after all, was supposed to measure natural forces. Have you ever looked at a dollar bill? Who do you think our founding fathers were?
Can you combine your gifts?
For what? I don't know. We're a rim, but we still need a center.
What center?
Electromagnetism. Isn't that how alchemy is supposed to work? So, doctor, ladies, have we all become permanent members of the Crash Test Society? Are we all sharing our grief?
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
Or are we just here for some red-hot mama jamma? Don't worry, Ms. Lip. Everyone knew I wasn't referring to you.
You are one of the rudest people I have ever met.
Perhaps, but accurate.
Oh.
Johnny, my man, we meet again. And you, Miss Handy. Mrs. Foote.
Are we all part of some experiment?
Do you for a moment flatter yourselves as being that important?
Then why are you here?
We are your protectors. We protect you, Doctor, from them by seeing that they don't stray too far. And we protect them from you and your meddling in case we might have need of them.
Need them for what? Are they marked?
They mark themselves. They really are an accident, you know. Your alchemy, there are underground electromagnetic transmissions that occasionally arc. Causes brownouts, short circuits. Doesn't happen often. Rarely affects anything.
What transmissions?
The Navy has some big tracking systems.
And these cause car crashes?
You forget the fog, the slick pavement, and an inebriated driver.
Do these transmissions scramble people's brains?
No. You're all just fragile.
As far as he knows.
Is the government conducting experiments on its citizens without their knowledge?
The government has no use for such things.
Like they would ever admit it!
How long have you people been doing this?
Since before you put on a ground crew uniform.
Well, that's crazy.
So says a man talking to a bunch of loonies in a cellar. You are an endless stream of questions today, Doctor. We are here to offer you a deal. And I include all of you in this, since you all are here. You are already under surveillance. We will continue to do so for your safety. But you must cooperate.
How?
Live peacefully. That can't be too hard. It gets expensive sending us out to look after you.
Why can't we just look after ourselves?
I said for your safety.
From what? Why should we need to be looked after? Why can't we look after ourselves? The government doesn't owe us anything. Or does it?
It does not. But you will admit to being privy to sensitive information, regardless of how you found it. We would like to keep that in good hands.
What about our basic freedoms?
We'll tell you what your freedoms are.
You mean we don't have the same as everybody else?
For the same reason you're not allowed to operate your own pepper shaker in fine restaurants. It isn't done.
I'm a vet.
Coming from our man who saved our plane's tires from so much gravel.
And I served my country.
And your country is grateful.
Oh, I've seen how grateful. I've been to a VA hospital. Have you ever seen some of the conditions there?
You've had your time and your war. The country goes on. There are other wars now. Besides, you've gotten a good deal out of it. What are you complaining about? Unless, of course, you are now stuck here with them. Is that it? Aw. Freddie Feely's luck is stuck.
So stuck is Freddie Feely's luck.
If stuck is Freddie Feely's luck,
Then Freddie Feely's luck is stuck.
if Freddie Feely really freely,
Struck his luck on sunken muck.
then freely Freddie Feely's luck.
Must really pluck what Feely struck.
You're improving, Agent Blue.
A true compliment, Agent Black.
I gotta tell you, you guys are in with me. I mean, I like the whole look and everything.
Who is this junior partner?
I do not know, senior partner.
You mean you guys don't know something?
I told you he could be of use to us.
What are you?
Titanic Embers, Titanic Productions. Hey, you can call me Ty. My ex-wife does.
We have a complication, Agent Blue.
Check the reference manual, Agent Black.
Not yet. Let's see what it does.
Mr. Embers is a TV producer, or so he says. He's going to put us all on television.
Hey, it's just an idea. You all stand to make a lot of money.
And you more.
We're going to take our story to the people. You can't keep us quiet forever.
Who else knows you are here?
Nobody. I mean, lots of people. My secretary and lots. I know Walt Tatum at ABC.
There is no Walt Tatum at ABC.
Well, Fox then. What's the difference?
Excuse us for a moment while my partner and I explain the situation to our ambitious new friend.
Okay, you guys, I can cut you guys in on the standard producers cut their, the standard 3.5%, okay? All right, 7%. That's my final offer.
Mr. Embers remembered an important appointment.
There are others out there like him. What am I saying? There are plenty of places we can take our story to. And you don't know who his partners are. We have freedom of speech.
Ah, the word freedom again. How often you've used it. Would you like to know why I have the job I do, Dr. Sneezeguard? I, too, believe in freedom. I like to know that on any street in America I can walk 50 feet in any direction and buy a $6 cup of coffee from beans grown by starving people in Zimbabwe. Within any 100 feet I can eat processed meat from a genetically altered steer and supersize it. I believe in a nation where children are capable of being fatter than the factory-farmed, hormone-injected pigs on which they feed. Within any 200 feet I can see a sign, read an ad, watch a commercial, or hear a radio jingle advertising something I don't need, but may desperately want in the immediate future. Have you ever really paid attention to radio jingles or listened to ad campaign slogans? There's real poetry there. The heartbeat of America. That's free enterprise. The open market system. freedom.
Home of the brave.
I love a country where everything I ever want or need is close at hand, so long as I can afford it. I love America because we can bomb any country we choose. I love America because we no longer have to listen to the United Nations. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We are defending our right to be free. That is what we are defending, our right to be. But some must sacrifice for all to be free.
And when did these people volunteer for such duty?
They volunteered by being here. We protect our rights by being right. We are always right. Look at our recent past. We righted wrongs when you entered the service in that useless eastern country with Operation Change Governments. And when we botched that, we finished them off with Operation Bomb 'em Back to the Stone Age. And when we botched that, we declared victory and ran like hell. And then there was that ugly Middle Eastern wasteland that had oil when we went in with Operation Take Back Our Oil. And when we botched that, we declared victory and ran like hell. And when we were attacked, we went in and bombed that other eastern country, still in the Stone Age, but had no oil, with Operation Get the Bad Guy. And when we botched that, we stuck it to them with Bomb 'em Anyway. And when we botched that, we bombed the country with oil again.
So?
And then there was that unimportant African nation.
Which one?
They're all unimportant. And when we botched that, we went in again with Operation Open Up a Can of Whoop-Ass.
Your point?
People sacrifice for the nation's sake all the time. What would you have us do? Let others walk over us? No new facilities or weapons like Johnny draws? Return to powder muskets? Remake the Civil War?
Gotta get a Gatling gun.
So we're prisoners because you're afraid we might know something?
But you do. So being citizens, you will get our protection. We protected the president the best we could until one got shot. Then we protected the next one better. We protected our other officials the best we could until one got shot. Then we protected the rest better. We've protected our civil rights leaders until one got shot. Then we protected the rest better. We've even protected our entire cabinet until some of them got shot. Then we protected the next ones better. We've learned. Trust me, we know how to do our job.
This is just a cover-up, like Roswell.
Ah, yes. Roswell. It was just a weather balloon. A 200-foot plutonium-driven weather balloon.
But what about the alien bodies? I mean, the autopsy.
Crash test dummies. Know what happens to them when you throw them out of an airplane at 30,000 feet?
They go splat.
Imagine if our crack scientists hadn't tried it. Those results would have happened to ordinary humans.
They're just trying to bury us in a witness protection program.
This coming from a man whose previous public presence has been wayfares of frequent pharmaceutical filters for anal itch.
Ew.
And if we don't?
Why would you do that? It's not in your best interests.
Lest the boogeyman come?
I'm not here to argue policy with you.
So, you do have eyes.
Some of us. The offer, and it is an offer, is simply this. We will offer you permanent protection.
Or
you four can return to the source. But doctor, ladies, you don't have that option.
living death?
They are already dead. It was you who chose to follow.
I didn't.
Ms. Letton. Really?
Everything's pretty cut and dried, isn't it? Everything is black and white to you guys.
The world is black and white. Which side are you on? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
What did he mean by the source?
Oh, please, doctor, I'm frightened by all of this. What does it mean?
I'm more frightened.
Ladies, please.
Thank you for all you've done, Doctor. I think we should all go home now.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You've done it.
Do you think there's a promotion in this for us, sir?
Ah, the Rodney Dangerfield of security. Huh, Agent Blue?
I've got 1 million of them, Agent Black.